Welcome back to my YouTube channel, guys. I'm so happy today. Episode 7 is right here. For everybody who has watched all the other episodes, I just want to say a big thanks to everybody who has been following my journey and my story. And I am so happy for all the messages and everybody that got inspired by my story. But guys, listen, the good news is we are going to start a podcast. After my story, I'm going to bring other people to tell their stories so we know how hard it is here. That being said, last time we stopped at episode 6 and I was so excited to tell you how I moved on, I forgave, I started fitting into the society and I had gotten a job. It was amazing. You know, sometimes people come here and think like, okay, I'm just going to go there and get a job. The thing that I tell people every day, sometimes you need to sacrifice. People send in their CVs thinking like, okay, they're going to give me a job. I've had so many people in Sweden that kept complaining like, yeah, I've sent 100 CVs to 100 companies. No one gives me a job. Guess what? People want to work with somebody they see is doing the job. And I'm always advising, especially if you've moved into this country or to a new country, sacrifice, do internship, show people that you can do the job. And once you show someone that you can do the job, you never know, you might get it. And that's the only way. If I had sent my CVs and tried to go there like, oh, I need a job, no one would have given me a job. And that's what I've realized about Sweden. They need someone with experience. And to get experience is not easy. So the best way to do is internship. If you're living in Sweden, you never do internship for free. The government gives you a little bit of money. It's okay, it's not a lot, but it's fine. You sacrifice 3 months, sometimes only 1 month, and you get a job. And that's what people don't know. Anyway, that being said, I worked in this shopping center and I got a job with this company. It is a clothing company. I love clothes, I love fashion. And since I just won the A. Bryant's Style and Fashion Awards, it was an amazing thing for me because I just loved fabric. I loved everything about it. I became so happy and I quit my cleaning job. But I loved cleaning, that for sure. Like I always loved cleaning. I started working at this place and the money that I was getting was amazing. That money made me become independent, made me start helping my family and all this. You know, sometimes people think like, okay, this person is with a white man, so they expect that white man to give everything. This is what you people don't know. When you see a woman married to a white man, don't expect everything. Don't expect too much like, oh my God, he's going to build a mansion, he's going to build a this and that. No, that is not how it is. If you're married, if you're with a black man, that is definitely 99% possible. I'm sorry. But if you're with a white man, the chances of that happening is like maybe 20%. That's even a lot. But anyway, at that time, you know, like I said, these people's culture, it's like you, me, and my family. That's it. They don't care. If you, even at work right now, if you go to work and you say that, oh, my auntie died, I need a day off, they're like, but that's just your auntie. It's not your mother. It's not your child. So no, you're not going to get a day off or anything to go and bury. So the immediate family is always like this, mother, father, and children. I couldn't help my family then. Okay, the father of my kids could give me little here and there, but it was a struggle. Like you have to get mad just to get like $100 to give home. And they never understood it like, oh, why are you sending money to them? Like why? They don't understand that because the culture is totally different here. Everyone for themselves. If you turn 18, when a child turns 18, go out of my house. I'm not taking care of you anymore. You take care of yourself, which is very, very sad because they don't have this thing of togetherness, like helping each other out. So when I got the job, I was so happy. I was like, damn, now I can help my family without, because now my family was like, you have to help us since you have a white man. But I couldn't, and they couldn't understand why. I remember an incident whereby my my grandmother died. When my grandmother died, I told the father of my kids, like, my grandmother died. I was so sad. I expected that he was going to say, oh, I'm so sorry. How much do you need to send for the funeral? No, he didn't. He was like, oh, my condolences. He continued with these things. I had to call him. I said, listen, I need money to send home for burial. He's like, he's just your grandmother. I don't have money. I'm like, he's my grandmother. I need the money. I was so angry. We women, we do all sorts of things, not talking to him or whatever, and he had to give me that money by force. So it was like that hard situation, like you stay in, especially when you don't have a job and you taking care of the home and someone is giving you all the money. They have a way of controlling you. It's like you have traded your freedom for the good life, which is not really the good life because you don't have independence in that life. I'm not gonna say that I came here and I suffered in the way that other people suffer. Okay, I suffered that the treatment, the environment was bad. But I'm gonna say that thank you to the father of my kids that he didn't put me in an apartment. People here come and suffer. I never lived in an apartment before since I moved to Sweden. I had it good. I had a car. I had a big house. I had everything. And I'm thankful for that. I know everybody's asking me like, oh, so where's the father of your kids and all this and that? That is going to come one day when I am ready to talk about it. So I didn't suffer in a way by where I was in a small place and on top of that I am being mistreated and all this. So I was lucky enough that at least I had space and I didn't have to worry, because people come here, when people tell you their stories, it's heartbreaking. You might think that my story is heartbreaking, but if you listen to other women, like if I think about it, I feel sad. Like I want to come out with my story so other people can talk about, it can be okay to also open up. So when I got this job, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't paying any bill. I decided like now I can help my family. I could get good money. I started sending money home. Everything started changing. I was so happy at work. They loved me like crazy. I was working all the time, every day. I remember one summer I worked that I got $3,000 after tax. Like $3,000. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. I was so happy. I was like, it was overwhelming. Helping my family, and I could travel, I could do a lot of things, but still there was like a hiccup in the middle. Still you're with someone and you can't go there, you can't do this. It was a lot. Like I said, if I get time, if I feel like it one day, I'm going to talk about it. But at this point, we're just talking about how I settled in Sweden. So when I started getting good salary, I started knowing Swedish people. Now, after all these incidents, I started having cultural shocks. I remember one of my colleagues invited me out to go for lunch, and two of them, they invited me to go for lunch. I was so excited to go for this lunch, like this is the first time a Swedish person has ever invited me for lunch, so I was so excited. So I go there. We sit, we are talking, getting to know them. And guys, when the bill came, I ordered, you know this Ugandan thing of like, okay, you're not paying, you're just gonna order anything. Like they brought the menu and I was like, I just looked, I didn't even look at the price, I was just ordering. Guys, when the time for paying came, they brought my bill, like my bill. I'm like, wait a minute. I hadn't budgeted to pay this meal. Like, you invited me out. Of course, I didn't say it out loud. I was just saying it inside. Like, for them, they were okay. They paid. Thank God I had money. I paid. I came back home. I'm like, what is this? I called my friend, Chris. I'm like, they invited me out. And I had to pay for my own food. If I knew that, I would have never gone, because that money would have helped a family member. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you, here when they invite you out, you have to pay for yourself. I'm like, what is the meaning of inviting somebody if you're not going to pay for them? Like, you don't even know anything about my budget. Like, say, hey, come, we go out, but remember, you're going to pay your own bill. Like, I just went, that was so shocking. Guys, I was like, okay, I learned that. The next time they invite me out, I refuse to go. And you know, we have this mentality, because when I started working, I never even spent any money on myself. I used to send all the money home. Like literally everything I used to send home. If I wanted to buy something, I would calculate it, like change it into Uganda shillings. And when I see how much it costed, I'm like, nah, I'm not buying that. No, I'm sending money home. So it was like that for a long time, that my first 6 months salary, I used to just send home all the time. And then one day I woke up, I'm like, wait a minute, I am working so hard and I'm a hard worker. I really love to help. I had like people back home that I try to, you know, they say charity starts from home, yeah? Like, I come from a clan also. I have my family, but I have my clan. So technically, all my clan members are my relatives. So sometimes people send me messages like, Krina, you have to help us out. And say, no, I have so many people to help. So it reached a point whereby I worked so hard, I was happy. And one day I just sat to myself, I'm like, wait a minute. I am good at my job. I studied all these people's cultures. You don't go out, because if you go out, make sure you have some money to pay for yourself. I remember one time, actually, I got invited for a barbecue. But they told me to bring my own meat and my own drink if I want to drink. I'm like, guys, you're inviting me for a barbecue. That means you have to. Anyway, the cultural shocks too much. But I learned a lot from it. I started fitting into the Swedish society. I started looking at things in a different way. I started learning their culture, and I just came to a conclusion. I'm like, these people were raised in a, I always call it a selfish way, like I said. Like, they were raised in a selfish way, and that's how it is. And I started respecting them. And all those things that I went through, the pain of not being greeted and treated like this, it all went away. I'm like, one day, if I just said, I wish someone had talked about their experience, because I went on YouTube, I went on Google, trying to find out the cultures of these people, trying to find out someone who is talking about their experience. There was none. I promised myself, I said, one day I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to create awareness for other people, so that when they come here and they maybe watch my video, they are not going to feel so lonely, so disgusted, so, you know, you feel like you're nothing. If they watch my video, they are going to understand that, okay, this is how it is here. Because some of us, even though you might say that I should have done research when I was in Uganda, but the thing is, I didn't know that I was moving. Even though I knew that I was moving here, and I tried to do research, I wouldn't find out about these people's culture. It's impossible to even find it. You try go Google it, or you try go just research it. You can't find it. But anyway, life became better. I was still posting. I'm happy. I wake up every morning. I wear my heels. I dress up nice. And the other funny thing is, every day I dressed up, people were asking me like, where are you going? Are you going for a party? Or are you from a party? I'm like, no, I'm Ugandan. This is just how we dress. So I was so confused by, why would they ask me where I'm going because I'm dressed a certain kind of way? But then they got used to me, and I got used like, oh, the people here in Sweden, actually, if you come to Sweden, people don't really care about how they dress. They dress anyhow. Someone will even go with a pajama to the supermarket. I do that sometimes. Nobody cares. But when you come to their interior in the house, it's perfect. It's like when you cross and go to the UK, people know how to dress. People put time to just look stylish. In Scandinavia, there is nothing like stylish here. People just dress up anyhow. But when you enter their houses, you're like, whoa, this looks beautiful. Anyway, I found out, I started making Swedish friends, and I started finding out things here and there, and I realized that I was actually very good at my job, and I'm a very good person at working. And I was like, wait a minute. Why am I supposed to work for someone else when I can work for myself? So one time there was a Swedish guy, a businessman I had met, and he really liked me a lot as a person because I used to like carry myself the way, you know, guys, the way you carry yourself and the way you talk to people and the way you dress matters a lot in this life. The way you dress, the way you go and present yourself, it's the most important thing that you can do. And the way I used to dress helped me a lot, helped people look at me in a different way. You know, sometimes we Africans here, we give up on ourselves. You go somewhere and you're wearing sweatpants, but if you dress up good here, they'll put you with some kind of respect. So there was a big building opening up, and this businessman told me like, yeah, you know, they need a cleaning company in this business, and they're looking for a cleaning company. Maybe, you never know, maybe you could, you know, open one and take the deal. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. I've been thinking that I want to own my own business because I am good at what I am doing. I don't want to work for someone else. And guys, that's how my journey started of being an employer. And I am going to tell you all that step by step in our last episode 8 that is going to come out in the next few days. So stay tuned for episode 8. Everybody who has been here, who has watched my story, who has watched all the way to now, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting, guys. I appreciate you big time. All your messages, I am reading them and I am trying to answer them as much as I can. But if I don't answer, just know that I have seen your messages and all your comments. Thank you. Please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, comment, and don't forget to share. Share to someone. If this video story is gonna help them, please share to them. Let them watch it. Wait for me in episode 8, the last episode, and I am going to tell you how I opened my cleaning company and how I became successful in it. Thank you so much. Until next time, bye-bye.